Hello, you're welcome to What the Papers Are Saying. My name is Vivian Lokko. Thank you for joining us for another edition where we look at the big stories for the week. When I come back, I'll take you through the stories that made headlines. To stay with us. So you're welcome back. For this week, we'll start with attacks on journalists, that of Joy News, after covering the demolition of some properties of McDan at the Spintex Road. Let's see how that story was captured and matters arising following that assault. A Daily Guide says soldiers punch Joy FM reporter, slap witness at McDan warehouse demolition. Graphic Online says GJA threatens media blackout over attacks on journalists. And then Channel 1 Newsonline.com, assault on Joy News reporter. I won't preside over journalist intimidation, Mahama assures. We'll move away from that. We'll take you to Bawku because it's still making headlines over a lot of developments over the week, including the killing of some students, among others. So let's see how that story has unfolded so far. The Ghanaian Times says government gets tough with Bawku conflict, moves from peacekeeping to peace enforcement. Daily Graphic says army deploys forces in Bawku, government evacuates students from Bawku and Nalerugu. And then 3news.com says Bawku finished the work and let's return to our loved ones. Chief of Army Staff tells soldiers. We'll move back to Accra. We'll bring you some development story to do with the arrest and detention of Paul Adom-Otchere. He's failed to meet bail conditions, even though he's been granted bail by the OSP. Let's see where that story is at currently. I'll take you to myjoyonline.com. They say Paul Adom-Otchere, two others detained over GACL contract probe. City Newsroom says Adom-Otchere granted bail, failed to meet bail conditions. And then City Newsroom says Adom-Otchere's lawyer slams OSP over unreasonable bail conditions. Let's move away from that. Let me take you to Adom-Otchere in the eastern region. Following the death of its MP, the date for the by-election has been announced by the EC. We're coming on the 2nd of September. All two major political parties have started preparing towards that election. So let's see the issues around that. New publisher Akufo-Addo's men will be arrested in Adom-Otchere. Gbande speaking over there. The Herald, MPP backs Owo for Adom-Otchere by-election as NDC opens nomination. EC sets 2nd September for polls. And then finally on City Newsroom, we will retain Adom-Otchere seat to honor Ernest Kumi. That's the MPP speaking over there. And finally, I'll take you to some sad one that has hit the country. Has to do with the death of high life musician Daddy Lumba. So let's see how that story has been captured by some media outlets. We go to the Herald. They say that Lumba walks off life at stage at 60. The custodian Akufo-Addo Bawumia, NPP mourn Daddy Lumba. And then finally, My Joy Online says the bank hospital denies breach of medical confidentiality in Daddy Lumba's care. So those are some big stories for the week. When I come back, I'll introduce my guest and then we'll look at some of the angles reported by the various media outlets and matters arising around these big stories. Stay with us. I'll be right back.
Drowning in deadlines, data running wild. Let's fix this together. Join the evolution. Join the sharpest minds in HR at the HR Connect Conference 2025 on August 8 at the Marvin Peak Hotel, Accra, under the theme Empowering HR Excellence, Leveraging Data, Resilience, and Wellness for a Thriving Workplace. It's not just another conference. It's strategy, tech, wellness, and a few smart laughs too. panels, keynotes, real talk, and real solutions. Let's lead, connect, and transform the way we work. For further inquiries and bookings, please call on 0541 222 365 to secure your seat. HR Connect Conference 2025. Lead, connect, transform.
No matter how far you run away, you always come back to where you started.
Tortured, mutilated, fingers cut off.
I'll lend you the money. My boss believes in giving players another chance.
You don't know what to do if you don't have the money to pay back. Come and listen to me.
Sir, it's done. Good. 1 week. That's all you got to pay up.
You've been gambling.
Unfortunately, we're still chasing shadows. He's clearing the board to make way for something bigger.
How could you do this to us, God? Who's there?
I can fix this.
Where politics meets power, where the tough questions are asked. Welcome to Face to Face. Every Tuesday at 9 p.m., join Umaru Sanda Amadou as he takes you face to face with the key players shaping the future of our nation.
I lost over $10 million at the trade fair.
You had a fight with the management of trade fair?
I don't have a fight with them. I just deplore the way they went about what they did.
Let's talk about the chief prosecutor of the state at the time that you were being prosecuted, Godfrey Adame, the Attorney General.
Yes. I think he was directed to jail us.
By who?
By the system.
Bawku has been a failure for your government, though.
Can't be a failure.
You have not solved it.
No, you are not praising them, the previous government for solving it, which was even a more difficult case.
It's quite obvious that from these votes, the people felt that let's just let you go.
So they were disappointed
in us.
You are essentially the worst government in the Fourth Republic.
I don't know how you are doing that. If you based on the indicators.
Yes, based on the number of people who refuse to come and vote for you.
If that is your analysis, then why not?
No filter, no boundaries, just the truth behind the headlines. Deep, bold, and unflinching. Face to Face with Umaru Sanda Amadou airs on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV, where politics gets real.
So you're welcome back to what the papers are saying. Let me quickly introduce our guest and then we'll delve into the issues. Samuel Tamens is here with us at Channel 1 TV as well as City 97.3 FM. Welcome.
Thank you.
Then Selim Adonu also here with us at Channel 1 TV and City 97.3 FM. Selim, welcome.
Thank you, Vivian.
All right. So gentlemen, I'll start with one. I'm sure this one is dear to you because of our profession as journalists. The attack of one of our own during the demolition of the warehouse of McDan. So I'll quickly play some reactions from the fraternity as well as the president over that development. I'll first bring you the president's response to what happened and then what the GJA has also been saying on the matter.
Allow me to condemn in the strongest terms the recent incident involving the manhandling of some journalists by our security personnel. Such conduct is unacceptable and will not be tolerated. I have instructed that the incident be thoroughly investigated and that the officers involved be sanctioned accordingly. As a card-bearing member of the Ghana Journalists Association, I will not preside over a government that abuses or intimidates journalists in the lawful exercise of their duty. A free and responsible press is indispensable to our democracy and we must all work to protect the media. I'll soon convene a meeting between the heads of the security services and the leadership of the GJA to plan a program to orient our troops to recognize the media not as enemies but as partners in development.
The GJA will not be silent or tolerant in the face of systematic violence against journalists. The association will no longer accept symbolic condemnations without action. We will no longer allow the work of journalists to be criminalized under the pretext of national security or public order. If the Ghana Police Service fails to act decisively within the next 7 days, as already stated, the GJA, in consultation with key stakeholders, will announce a nationwide media blackout of all police activities. We will instruct our members to withhold coverage of police events, refuse participation in police press briefings, and suspend all forms of editorial engagement involving the police. This is not a threat, and I want to reiterate that, Mr. IGP and your men in uniform, this is not a threat. It is a necessary action to defend the dignity and safety of every Ghanaian journalist. It is our prayer that we will not be pushed to the extent where we will be considering total media blackout in the country. Again, the military should understand that failure on their part to expose and sanction the said perpetrators of this crime will also have damning consequences, and we will embarrass them. If the military fail to expose the members, the officers, the soldiers in uniform behind these perpetrators, CDS and Chief of Army Staff, we are not just serving notice. We are not threatening. We have done our homework and we are prepared. If you fail to do so, we shall embarrass you. We will come out boldly.
So that's the president of the GJA speaking on the assault of a journalist by the military just a day or two ago. Gentlemen, I'll start with you, Sam, as being somebody who runs, a media house, and your thoughts around it. It appears the attacks on journalists are only getting worse. We just saw one recently during the by-election coverage where a number of reporters were attacked. One by the police, others by some other gentlemen. Then we are seeing this troubling one.
Well, I think these are things that I would say are not new, and they've been condemned widely, including the condemnation from, if like, the seat of government. But what I think maybe going forward should happen is we should, if you like, I don't know what the law prescribes, but we should apply the maximum punishment to those who assault journalists.
Okay.
So that it will be a deterrent going forward. I think that's the only way we can deal with this matter. I mean, if the policeman or the military person knows that if I stretch my arm to assault a journalist, this is what I'm calling for, I think they will be advised. A lot of them are either disconnected from the news mill or they are still living in the past, where they believe that, the security forces should be able to bulldoze their way through every situation, including assaulting people who are unarmed, more so people who are just practicing the art of storytelling. And so it's unacceptable, but we should, if you like, maximize the punishment that is meted out to some of these security men.
Have you been impressed so far on the reactions from institutions where their people have been part of these perpetration? For example, the military so far, we've not seen whether the gentleman in question who attacked the journalist and the bystander, any action towards them. We saw the police, he was quickly interdicted. We don't know what has happened after that. At least the police hasn't said anything.
Okay, I may have missed what the military have done in this particular case. I may have missed, and I haven't followed. But if they haven't said anything at all, then maybe it's time for them to come out. More often than not, the military would be the institution that is known for taking action on some of these things, because they normally would conduct their investigation. Yeah. But as I said, I haven't heard anything yet, so I don't know whether they are doing something.
Okay, let me bring in Selom on what the law says in all of this with regards to the attacks on us and all that, and then whether you're impressed with action so far that has happened around these attacks.
Well, Vivian, I mean, I think it's an unfortunate occurrence, really, that a journalist in the discharge of his duty will be attacked in that manner. I think it's condemnable. We condemn it in the strongest terms possible and with every energy we have. And I think the response from the fraternity has been it's been good. With a united voice, we are fighting this, and that is great. This clearly is assault or is battery, and punishment for this will range from that of a misdemeanor to even felony, depending on the severity of it. But I mean, the military people have their own system of addressing matters like this. So it is my hope that, once the matter has been condemned from the office of the commander-in-chief, who is their boss, and of course our boss, because he's president, the matter will be given the attention that it requires. It's become one too many, that every now and then, if a journalist is doing his work, I mean, you don't have to attack the journalist. You may not like him, but you do not have to attack the journalist. I don't think it would have destroyed anything if they told the journalist, no, you can't do this here, you can't stand here. Just move away. Let the journalist resist, and then we see what happens from there. But all of a sudden, you start hitting the journalist, etc. I don't think that is the way to go. It's not, an attribute of a civilized society, of a society that prides itself on being a beacon of democracy. It is wrong, and it must not be condemned. I mean, it must be condemned. It must not be condoned. The other thing, we are losing out on, or we seem to be, not getting the traction is a gentleman, the interviewee, the guy who was granting the interview before they came. He was beaten and he fell on the floor, at least from the videos I saw. But it does appear nobody's really talking about him. I didn't hear the president talk about him. I didn't hear anybody talk about him.
Everybody's concentrating
about the journalist, and that's understandable because, it's one of our own who has been attacked. So our focus is on him. But let's not forget that poor man who was beaten mercilessly and taken to national security. We don't even know whether he's been released or he's still there. We need to find out about him, and we need some update on him. It's unfortunate that we've had these things happening. Just when we thought that we're doing well on the Press Freedom Index, these things keep happening. And I think the government must make a scapegoat of these people at least, so that it will serve as deterrent to everybody else, that when you do this is what will happen to you. We've also not heard much from what is happening to the gentleman at Ablekuma North, the police that hit the journalist at Ablekuma North. We only heard he's been interdicted. Yeah. We don't know what has happened to him so far. We need some update on that. And this one, we expect some swift action. To say that you investigate it is not enough. We expect swift action. Let's know whether they have been interdicted. Let's know the process. The videos are available. The people their faces are there. We know some of them. Call the journalist. Let him help you with information. Let's see something happening. Yeah. To say that you are investigating and 24 hours we've not really heard anything in this high stakes incident, I think it leaves much to be desired. We love the military. We like them, and we like them because they are known to be disciplined people. Yeah. But of course, there are a few miscreants in their midst. These miscreants must be fished out, they must be smoked out, and they must be disciplined. I don't think anybody in his right sense will support this bad attitude from our revered military.
So let me, like you said, let me quickly go through the statement from the military that was issued on the 30th of July, the day of the incident, where they said the statement reads, in line with the directive from the presidency, the Ghana Armed Forces wishes to inform the general public that investigations have begun into the inappropriate conduct of some soldiers during an encounter with some journalists around Sprintex in Accra today, 30th July 2025. The Ghana Armed Forces wishes to assure the general public that the investigations will be thorough and those found culpable will be dealt with accordingly. The Armed Forces remain professional and will do everything possible to maintain its known high standards. So this is coming from the Acting Director General Public Affairs, VAR, on that issue. But the president has also spoken. He says he would not pretend over some of the assaults we say, especially being a member of the GJA, and is his statement reassuring?
Well, I mean, yeah, the president has spoken. The swiftness of the statement from his office, I think, is good. But, and of course, nobody is saying that it's the president that sent the people to go and do that. The signals coming from his office are good, but we will need to move it the next step. Condemning it is not enough. Let's see what the consequences are. When we see the consequences and everybody else sees the consequences, next time, if they are going to deal with journalists, they will be careful. And this thing about people, I mean, I don't even understand why you should attack journalists. Why should you attack journalists? They are just doing their job as you also do it. And I understand they didn't want the guys to film what was happening. You know, some people are knelt down at gunpoint, etc., and they felt it was embarrassing for that to come out. So if you know it's wrong, why were you doing it? If you know you don't want that thing to be seen by people, then why were you doing it in the first place? The journalist is there to shine light on the rot. Why were you doing it? You know, and I think we need to investigate this thoroughly. We need to do it swiftly, and we need to punish them so that it will serve as deterrent. The promptness of the punishment is also important to serve justice to the affected people. And again, it's unfortunate we've not heard much about the other guy who maybe is a nobody, quote unquote. He was somebody in the area, saw what happened and was just granting interview. And nobody knows where he is. Nobody's talking about him. Nobody's fighting for him. And the president even missed that. You know, we need to get back to that as well. But it is wrong and it must not happen. And let me also commend the GJA president. Is actually stood up, you know, for the profession and for the fraternity, and he's been so right from the beginning. And I think it's a president we are all proud of, and we hope that we see this to the very end. Okay, so Mans, your thoughts on GJA's reaction? So threatening to do a blackout on the police, and if nothing is done, they'll go national with a lot of, you know.
I think it's to be expected, and yes, we commend the GJA, but you see, I think that the solution actually does not lie with the GJ or even the leadership of the GJ. The body language of leadership is critical in these matters. That's why the president's quick reaction is instructive. But the gap here is between the reactions and the remedy. Okay, so the GJ has reacted, and they may even move on to, if you like, orchestrate a media blackout, as they said. And then what? That's a question. Now the president has spoken in no uncertain terms that he does not support a thing like this. And so what happens next? You see, this is it. So I didn't memorize the whole of the president's speech, but I would expect something like I wouldn't say an order, but the president's instruction to get the military to do a quick job of, if you like, finding a remedy to the situation. Okay. You understand? Because if the military hierarchy knows that even the president is so interested, they will put some kind of responsibility on them. Okay. But this one will not be an isolated case. That's why I don't even want to if like overemphasize this because it's becoming a widespread issue. You have clueless policemen, clueless military men who believe that they have reinvented parts of the law to suit their own convenience.
Yeah.
So you choose to, by the same law that empowers you to go and demolish a property, the same laws of the land that empowers you. Now, if the law empowers you to do that, that suggests to me that it's a legitimate operation. Now, if the journalist wants to help you by broadcasting
your legitimate action,
something that is supposed to be legitimate, you see the contradiction?
Yeah.
You now turn against the same journalist and then go after the journalist. It does not make sense at all.
Yeah.
Look, it does not, it's contradictory. It doesn't make sense. If the military will sit and watch these things happen, then it takes away from their reputation.
Well, they say that place has been declared a security zone now.
Since when?
Well, since it happened.
When was it declared?
When they were demolishing, it was a security zone.
No, I can't.
So is it an incident that made it a security zone or what?
No, but hang on. The military should give us a break. What are they talking about? If you declare a place a security zone, you do it retrospectively and tell us that the thing is a security zone. Now, knowing that you, the military high command, have declared a place a security zone, where is the evidence of your announcement and communication to the public?
You don't declare it in secret.
How do we know? You do something wrong and you come back and tell us that it's a security zone.
It's not even true.
As for us, we don't have any gray matter in our head.
It's not even correct. It's not even true. It's an afterthought. It cannot be. It's an afterthought. On what basis is it a military zone? A security zone. Because it's close to the airport. Don't people live there? Is it a particular piece of land in question that has been declared a security zone? They should give us a break. It's not true. It's an afterthought, if they even said that at all. It cannot be the case. And even if it's a security zone, a journalist doing his job, he's not stealing. He didn't sneak. He's not stealing. People were there demolishing. And he also came there. There were other people standing there.
You slap him.
And he's talking to somebody. His job is to talk to people, get information. Talking to somebody, a bystander, talking to somebody, and you come and beat him, even if it was a security zone. No, they should give us a break. It's not even true that's a security zone. They should stop complicating matters for themselves.
I think that the GJ president should direct his anger at the military. And even the boycotting, we should start by boycotting every activity that is organized by the military people. That journalists should boycott every activity that is organized by the Ghana Army, Ghana Armed Forces, until they take proper action. Maybe they don't see our usefulness. If there's a boycott, it has to start from the army people.
Okay.
It's bad. We praise the military on many occasions, and we've been here. I've been praising the military, saying that okay, this one it should be the military should do it, etc. Waiting to see how the Bawku matters with their involvement now, or bolstered involvement now, will make things look. We are waiting, expecting that things will happen, and they come and do this. This is an anticlimax. It is wrong, and if the military high command is listening, they must call their people to order, and they must give us a proper apology, and they must right the wrong. It must not happen. If nothing happens to this, it will embolden other ordinary people and people who think they are powerful to more handle journalists. We can't afford to be treated that way. No, we won't agree.
Okay. We'll take you to Bawku, where the military have been taken there to change the strategy from peacekeeping to peace enforcement. But the majority leader has been speaking on the Bawku issue. We'll quickly listen to what he's saying, and then I'll pick your thoughts on the Bawku issue.
We are not running away from Bawku. We, NDC government, we are not running away from Bawku. Mr. Speaker, for those of you who have chosen to have a very short memory, Bawku was a very peaceful place. From 1984 till 2001, when Kufuor took over as president. That is it. Those are the facts. Mr. Speaker, you don't know about Bawku. Let me tell you about Bawku. And you can go and check the records. If you want us to debate it, I can fix a date and we'll debate it and I'll give you the records. Mr. Speaker, the problem in Bawku was caused under the NPP administration. Under the NPP administration. That is what happened. Once Akufo-Addo was president, he allowed somebody to be appointed as a rival chief in Bawku, and that is the cause of the problem. And once Akufo-Addo was president, that rival chief was taken into Bawku. That is the cause of the problem of Bawku. And I am assuring you that
So that's Majority Leader Mahama Yariga there. Getting peace to Bawku, it looks like it's going to be a long haul.
It's unfortunate, really, that Bawku, once upon a time known as a very busy place, border town with a lot of activity here and there, is becoming what it is now, where workers who are even transferred to the place don't want to go, and who will want to go there?
Yeah.
Nobody will want to go. I mean, so it's the people of Bawku must actually, sit and realize that they are not doing themselves any favor, and politicizing the Bawku matter will not bring the peace. Politics in its very nature, and especially the way we practice it here, is very divisive. So, yeah, there are political undertones. But if we want to dwell on the politics of it, then we are not going to solve the matter. I was happy when Otumfuo stepped in, Otumfuo began, his mediation. But it does appear that there's been a trigger and the matters have degenerated.
Yeah.
And what we are seeing now, people attacking people at various places, I don't think it's the way to go. Going to schools to shoot people and kill people is not correct. Of course, though officially the shootings and the killings have not been connected to the Bawku crisis, people familiar with the matter are drawing linkages, and I don't think it is the way to go. We must find a way to resolve this. And I'm only hoping that the military deployment, of course, military has always been there, but this reinforcement of the military deployment there would help the matter, even though I don't know how, because, I don't know how it's going to work, but the military perhaps they know their work. Because they've been there for a long time, and I don't know how the reinforcement is going to help the matters, but of course, it's their work, so we only hope and pray that things turn out well. The security, the military people may not be the people to bring a lasting peace. The people themselves must bury the hatchet and decide to be progressive and look forward. Else, Bawku will never develop and to become a ghost town. Now, BC, people have to write exams, SSC and things, and they can't. They have to be escorted to write exams and a whole lot. It's not progressive. And so, if they want their town to develop, they must sit and realize that the conflict is not doing anybody any good. And what at all is it? What at all is it that
can be solved, resolved?
I think they have to do themselves that favor.
All right, Thomas. Bawku.
Well, there is a typical example of a crisis that we have on our hands as a country, and first and foremost, the military people cannot find a solution to the Bawku crisis.
You think so?
No, they cannot. They cannot. The police cannot.
Hey.
What I think can bring some kind of peace is sitting down to talk. And so I believe that we should give the Otumfuo Mediation Committee a chance to do their work. Okay? Now, what the police, what the military would be expected to do in the meantime is to protect lives. Is to protect lives. That is their forte. But in terms of sitting with the negotiations and all these things, I think we should give the Otumfuo Committee a good chance. Now, what that would mean is the members of parliament from both sides should desist from making inflammatory statements. Okay? Because it actually undermines the authority and the efforts of the Otumfuo Committee. So, as we just heard the majority leader speaking, and now I do not know what he was responding to, but if I take that statement that he was making, I can boldly say that it is not necessary. And it's so inappropriate at this time when we are looking for a lasting peace. Now, the state has empowered Otumfuo and his committee to mediate. And so the best we can do is to hold our horses and not inflame passions. Now, the majority leader is also a member of parliament in that area. And he should know that he's a model for the youth. And so you don't sit in parliament and give a political coloration to a battle that we have on our hands, that we have, with respect, empowered Otumfuo to lead in mediation, and the same majority leader undermines the process with a statement like this. So I think the politicians should shut their mouths and allow Otumfuo to do his work.
Well said. Well, this is what the papers are saying. I am Vivian Lokko here with Samuel Tamensa and Salamadonu. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll look at the detention of Paul Adom-Otchere. We're told he's failed to meet bail conditions. We'll bring you details of that. Stay with us.
Entries have been received and the marking has begun. Who makes it to the next round of the Literacy Challenge 2025? Randomly selected entries will be read on 97.3 City FM on Brunch in the City and the Traffic Avenue, and on Breakfast Daily on Channel 1 TV. Stay tuned to 97.3 City FM and Channel 1 TV to find out who makes it to level 2 of the Literacy Challenge on Monday, 4th August 2025. Level 2 Aptitude Test. The top 50 contestants from across Ghana to make it to the next round shall take part in a written aptitude test on Saturday, 9th August 2025 at 12 noon at the British Council, Accra. Grand Finale. The top 10 contestants chosen from Level 2 shall compete for the grand prize of 10,000 Ghana cedis in a classic quiz competition on Friday, 15th August 2025. The Literacy Challenge 2025 is powered by City FM, supported by Channel 1 TV, and sponsored by Belmu and GB Assessment.
So welcome back to What the Papers Are Saying. I'm Vivian Lokko here in the studio, Adom-Otchere, as well as some Atamensa. We'll move to our next story. I'll bring you some headlines around that, and I'll pick the thoughts of Samensa as well as Selom, having to do with the arrest of Paul Adom-Otchere. Now, my journal line, for example, says Paul Adom-Otchere, 2 others detained over GHGCL contract probe, and then City Newsroom says Adom-Otchere granted bail fails to meet bail condition. And we've been speaking to their lawyers, his lawyers on the matter, and this quote from City Newsroom says Adom-Otchere's lawyer slams OSP over unreasonable bail conditions. So let me start with you, Selom. This is law. What's going on here?
Well, so the Office of the Special Prosecutor, has made us aware that once you come to that office, you can be arrested, and once you are arrested, you have to be bailed, and once you have to be bailed, there are conditions that you have to meet. And like he said, when he arrested Professor Bawku, he said he doesn't grant self-recognizance bail. I think he said that when we were all alarmed, that why will you impose such bail conditions on Bawku, etc., because who doesn't know him? Where is he going? His reputation, goes before him, etc. So that's when he made explanation that he gave the explanation that he doesn't admit people to self-recognizance bail. I don't know. I fail to understand why he would do that. But and also, so arrest is legal. Bail granting, or people asking for bail or applying for bail and it being granted or people being admitted to bail is legal. It's part of the process. But the law frowns on situations where, the grant or admission to bail or otherwise becomes a tool for punishment. Yeah. You do not have to use bail as a punishment because it's a process. Mm-hmm. The person is presumed innocent until proven guilty. Yeah. And at this time, no matter what the crime the person is accused of is, the person is still presumed innocent until a competent court of law, convicts that person. So it's important that we treat people with respect and accord them rights. That is why the law says that bail conditions must not be set in a manner that will operate as punishment on the person. Now, we understand that part of the bail conditions for Paul Adom-Otchere in the matter, and we don't have the full facts of the matter. We only hear it's about a contract that happened when he was a board chairman, etc. And I'm wondering how that happened, because a lot of these things happen at the managerial level. We do not know. We do not know how his involvement came in. I understand the board looked at it. The board awarded the contract to somebody else, and somebody else got a contract. I don't know the full facts. But of course, over time, we will understand what it is. But to set the bail conditions in a manner that from the facts of the case that the person cannot meet, that is not being fair. From what we heard from the lawyer in filling the form, Paul said he did not have any property of his own, or he did not have any property in his name. Yeah. And then in setting the bail conditions, you say that they should provide, surety in landed properties, 2 of them, when you know that the guy has told you in the preliminary, investigation and preliminary information taking stage that he doesn't own any property, then what are you saying? So what you're saying is that he should just go there because it's not today or this evening or tomorrow morning he's going to build and put his name on it or register the property in his name. So it simply means that we are not ready to let you go. And so, yes, the OSP is not the alpha and omega. You can go to court to ask for a variation of the bail terms. But you have to go to court. You have to file processes. You have to be assigned a court. Tomorrow is Friday. The courts are on vacation. The court went on vacation today.
Oh my God.
Of course, some courts will sit. Yeah. But that is not the way to go. I don't know what it is, but I'm not sure Paul is going anywhere. Paul is running and going anywhere. I'm sure if they had released him, he would have been on Good Evening Ghana this evening. I think that the Office of the Special Prosecutor should look at the matters again and review the bail conditions and let the young man go and put himself together. In fact, you can tell him to report every day, every morning. It's also there, and they should look at it properly.
Well, his lawyer spoke to us this evening, and he said that Paul is being targeted for criticizing OSP.
Well, it's not. It's not. It may not be far-fetched, okay? Because of course we know Paul has been on the case of the special prosecutor for a while now. But you see, I don't want to believe that it's true, but I can't also deny the fact that there could be some truth in that. It is not correct, if it is true, for the special prosecutor to be using state power against a private individual in a manner that is not fair. Because this obviously doesn't look fair to a lot of reasonable people. 2 houses, when you have said you don't have a house, what are you saying? And if the guy has done something, I mean, there's a way people want to show somebody pepper and things, but I don't think that we need to drive our state, on that path. It is wrong, and I don't think I hope it is not the case. Because if it is the case, then it will be unfortunate that he wants to show him pepper, or he's been targeted because of his criticism of the office. It's wrong.
Samantha,
well,
your thoughts on all this?
My thoughts very simple. Salom has made the point. As a media person, I think the office of the special prosecutor is becoming a bit too predictable in the way they handle some of these issues. And so they should just be minded that tomorrow, there's a tomorrow that awaits all of us. Today, you are in the seat of the office of the special prosecutor, which has a defined tenure of 7 years. At times I ask myself, what if this person who is the special prosecutor didn't have a term limit, like we have, for instance, Otunfo. Okay, now this is somebody with a term limit, who has actually is believed to have become predictable in the way they do some of these things. Whatever they are doing, they should know that one day, they will have to account for every decision that they are making. And that's just life. Today is Paul Adom-Otchere. And the whole media fraternity knew what was going to happen when Paul goes there. And it is what has happened. I'm not going into the details of the issue because I don't know the details. Okay? But in the issue of governance, I want to believe that the chief executive and the executive directors have also been questioned or queried or have been invited. I want to believe that the other board members have been queried or invited. And then Paul being the last man standing. That's what I want to believe. Now, if that has not been done, then it puts a huge question mark on the whole operation. Now, if this persists, then take it from me, read my lips. One day, the special prosecutor will have a lot to answer for. And that one day will come when we are all alive. I'm telling you. You see, just be fair and do your work. Let's take away emotions and let's apply the principles to protect the state. Now, when we play catches with this office, it will blow up in our faces as a country. Let's watch.
You think he's being emotional about some of the cases,
well,
how he acts?
The approach has been largely emotional. The approach has been largely emotional.
Right. All right. I'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll wrap up with some sad one, the death of Daddy Lumba. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
So dear sister, me dad, dear Betty, dear, and I'm Shishimi. I could have that. Me many tears, some of them is a kind of a set. Sika, sit there so the moon. Juju so mo. What do they want there? No be free. So what you say back now, ma? What na make show? Wow.
Say me no confirm you. Na no mo sorry.
So you're welcome back to what the papers are saying. I'm Vivian Lokko. I'm here with Samuel Atamensa as well as Solomon Adonu. We're looking at the big stories for the week. We'll move to some sad one having to do with the death of Daddy Lumba. Well, his management has been speaking. We'll quickly take what he is saying and then I would hear from Samens and Solomon on this whole sad story.
What's in there? A positive feedback from the presidency, which I know that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama will do what as people are requesting with regards to the giving him a befitting burial. That's I know that His Excellency will do that. Yeah. There was this, if you recall, on the 1st of July, there was this event that took place. Senior citizens that. My boss was being invited by His Excellency. It's everywhere. So I know the kind of love that the current president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, has for the creative industry and the kind of relationship that he has with Daddy Lumba.
So that's Philip Kwabena Ejiman Apia Kubi, also known as Roman Father, manager of Daddy Lumba, speaking there. I don't know who to start with this sad one. I'll start with Salah. So, are you a Lumba fan?
Oh, well, I hear his music. I mean, his music is popular and is good. You may not agree with his music or like his music necessarily, but what you cannot deny is the influence and the talent and the impact it's made on society. I think it's a very talented. He was a very talented person who knew the business of music and showbiz and gave to the market what the market wanted and broke new grounds. You know, for me, I was surprised he was just 60 with all the work he has done, and he was just 60. You know, threw me back to when Adom-Otchere came. I think I was in SS1 then. And
in your shows.
And people were in the class were singing the song and all of that. So, you know, to calculate the thing back and realize that he was in his mid-30s at the time, you know, tells you how impactful and how long he had been on the scene. Before Adom-Otchere, we knew him already. We knew Lumba, we knew him. And Adom-Otchere was one of the greatest hits, or one of his biggest. But that came when he was in his mid-30s. That tells you how impactful and influential he's been with his music, his voice, and that song he did for MPP and Anado, Masterclass. I mean, it's unfortunate that he had to die, you know, so early at 60. But we know that perhaps, of course, God has
How
a
did
bigger
you hear
reason.
the news?
I think it was Saturday. I think it popped up on my phone on one of the groups I'm on. But you know, normally people throw out things like that. So I think I saw it, but I wasn't really sure. I think I tried checking also. And a few minutes time, I think I heard it from more reliable sources that, you know, Lumba was dead. It was strange to me because now I know he was not feeling quite well. I knew he had gone a bit quiet, but I thought he was trying to change a few things because I knew he had a radio station. I thought he was trying to do some other things, so he was putting the music on the back burner. Didn't know he was not feeling very well. And so it's unfortunate, and we pray that he will rest in peace.
Amen.
Well, it's unfortunate that we've lost Daddy Lumba at this early stage of his life, if you like. I am definitely. I mean, I follow a lot of the local high life and indigenous musicians, but I'm not the typical Lumba person as others, because you know, I struggle to hear what he's saying. Yes, I actually struggle to hear. But I must say that it is after his death, and particularly the exposition by Freme Dunyame is what.
The one that she knows word to word of every song.
Yeah, because Frema doesn't just know the words, but she's able to put them in context to bring out the meaning.
Yeah.
And so, what occurred to me is we lost CK Man a little over 5 years or so ago, 4 or 5 years ago. And today, as we speak, nobody remembers CK Man.
Yeah.
We have lost Daddy Lumba. 5 years upwards, we may find ourselves repeating the same thing. Question, how do we immortalize their works?
Yeah.
Okay, is there a reference point for the works of music greats like Daddy Lumba, like CK Man? Okay, I see people trooping to the house, mourn with the family, no problem with that. But what happens after that? In the Western world, they would have found a way. What are we doing as a nation?
Yeah.
And I think that it should be the beginning of the conversation to try and immortalize the works of some of these music greats and people in our creative space. Okay, so yes, Lumba is gone. People are showing their sadness, you know, and commiserating with the family and all that, which we all do. But as a country, so we do not miss out and lose out on the work that Lumba has done with music. I mean, a Ghanaian musician dies and it's on BBC World Service.
Yeah.
I mean, BBC World Service is announcing that Daddy Lumba is dead. And you take that for granted? No. That is a big deal.
Yeah.
So, and you know, the funniest part is 5-10 years from now, you go and find a curated package of the works of Daddy Lumba in a Western country.
Yeah.
And we'll be sitting here just drinking and dancing. We are going to turn this thing to a party. And then,
into Ethiopia.
Yes, turn it into a party and forget about the impact that Lumba has made. I mean, look, I sit and watch the way people are trooping in and out. And I'm asking myself, how can we, in future, turn the Lumba name, his impact and his work into a tourism feature of this country? As in, one of the biggest musical greats that ever lived. How are we going to do that? Well, I leave that for the state authorities.
But give us some ideas.
Who is us?
All of us as Ghanaians.
We as an institution, we know what we want to do. We know we are 100% sure of what we want to do. And this is not the time to say it, but we know what we want to do.
All right, we have to leave it here.
There should be a way of also protecting his works. I mean, the masterpieces he has put out. There should be really a way of protecting even his hometown. I mean, putting something somewhere as a reference point, like Samen says. We can't just go like that. Ghanaians, when things happen, we are in the moment. After a while,
they will turn everything to party, drink, dance, put powder on their face and go and talk to bloggers and leave it there. Everybody wants to talk to a blogger. And I heard Okreku Mante say that, look, all the people who say that they were close to Lumba, they are lying. Okreku Mante said it, I'm not the one saying. They say all the people who are saying that, and then they say, oh, I'm say that. Everybody wants to show face. It's okay to commiserate to the fact, but I'm saying that there are bigger issues that we have to deal with. Because, look, Lumba is not a regular musician.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Look, when was it? when we were in 23, 24 years ago, I was working in Sierra Leone and Liberia. And if you go to, there's no party in Sierra Leone that you don't hear Daddy Lumba. And it has 2 songs. Adom-Otchere in Liberia. You play Adom-Otchere in Liberia, it's pandemonium.
Wow.
And you, Medono.
Medono.
In Freetown, Jesus Christ. In Mosso Papa. So he wasn't just Ghana.
Transcended Ghana.
You know, transcended. The West African sub-region, I know as a matter of fact, and I experienced it. So I'm saying that we should, it's an unfortunate situation, but we should see a way to turn it around so that we can immortalize his impact, his works. That's what I would say.
All right. Thank you very much, Samuel Mensa. Thank you very much, Saloma Donu. And thank you too out there. We'll see you again some other time. I'm Vivian Lokko. Bye-bye.